Hello, my name is Austin Young, and welcome to Module 1, Exercise 6. In this exercise, we'll be recreating the shape you see in your PDF. The shape consists of 5 circles, one in the center with a diameter of 0.64, the remaining of which have a diameter of 0.32. Surrounding these is a semicircle with a radius of 0.32, and then each one of these is connected up until this intersecting point on 4 sides. We'll go ahead and get started by coming in to the circle tool, and we'll use center diameter. The first circle has a diameter of 0.64, so I'll click here and type 0.64 to create our first circle. Next up, we'll need to create 4 guidelines so that we can position each of these 4 circles. They're out at a distance of 1.12 from the center of the circle, up, down, left, and right. So I'll grab the line tool, and if I hover over the circle in the center, a little circle appears. I'll click on that, and I can drag my cursor up, right, down, or left. We can start anyway. And in order to make sure that this snaps in variations of 90 degrees, we'll need to turn on Restrict Cursor Orthogonally. So I click that, and now notice that the line only snaps to these 4 points. Now I can go out to the right and type 1.12, hit enter and escape, and I've made my first line. I can do this again out the other direction, 1.12, press escape, and twice more, once up at 1.12, and one more time straight down, 1.12. Now that I have these guidelines, I can position our other 4 circles that have a diameter of 0.32. Click the circle tool and center diameter. I'll start out with the right hand side, clicking this endpoint and typing 0.32. And now instead of clicking this drop down arrow every time and clicking center diameter, by default the circle icon is the center diameter tool. So if I click that and then click the next point and type 0.32, it uses that same tool. I'll click it twice more, and then we can move on to the next step. In this step, we'll need to be creating 4 semicircles. These will be arcs, so we'll use the arc tool as seen to the right of the circle tool. We'll start out with the one on the right, so I'll come down to the drop down arrow and click center start end. Note that the arc tool always works counterclockwise, so if this is specifying the center of the arc, I'll click here. The starting point needs to be the bottom as we want to go up afterwards, so I'll come down, and we know that the radius of this arc is 0.32. So as I move my cursor downward, it's going to ask for the radius, so I'll type 0.32. And now if I move my cursor straight up and click, the Restrict Cursor Orthogonally has allowed me not to have to worry about lining that up exactly. It is directly above the previous line. Instead of using that tool, we can also use guidelines. So if I click the line and come up to the very top and type 0.32 on one side and 0.32 on the other side, we can come to our arc tool and use start center end, once again counterclockwise. So if this is the start point, if I want to go counterclockwise, so it'll be on the outside, starting point will be on the right, center will be here, and the end point will be the left side of that guideline that we created earlier. Next I can come in and I'll go back to using the center start end tool. I'll select this as the center. We want to have this on the outside, so I'll start at the top first, typing 0.32 after I've moved my cursor up. Come down here and click, and now we can do this one more time on the bottom, specifying the center point, the left hand side, 0.32, and now the right hand side. Now all that's left is to create the lines that intersect in in 4 corners. What we can do is I'll go ahead and create 2 lines on either side of these 2 arcs and drop them down. Now I can use the line tool, and right where this is perpendicular to the line that we just created, I can click there. I'll do this on the bottom. Grab this side and do that twice more. Snap that into place. And now all that's left is to turn these 2 lines into shorter versions of themselves. I'll go ahead and get rid of these guidelines that are kind of in the way. It's a bit of extra noise that we don't need. So now if you click on one of these guidelines, you'll notice that there are 3 blue boxes. These are our manipulation points. And what they allow us to do is if I click on one of them, I'm able to move this around and change where that line ends. So if I snap that onto this point, we've now basically shrunk this line up to meet where this other line is. Now I can use the line tool and create a second line straight down so that snaps into place, meeting the other arc. I'll do this again, this time going down, just clicking on that point, moving my cursor down and clicking right there where this intersects. Finally, I'll use the line tool and create the final line, and that's it. That's all there is to it. I'll leave it to you, and I'll see you in the next exercise.